So a lot of people ask why I'm depressed, and that is not something I can answer properly because I don't exactly know. In the past few years, I've been piecing it together, but I can't give you a straight answer as to why I'm depressed. So we'll get into that later.
बॉलीवुड एक्टर आमिर खान की बेटी ईरा खान चाहे फिल्मी इंडस्ट्री से दूर हैं, लेकिन वो सोशल मीडिया पर काफी एक्टिव रहती हैं। ईरा ने हाल ही में वर्ल्ड मेंटल हेल्थ डे पर अपने डिप्रेशन को लेकर एक वीडियो शेयर किया था। आमिर की लाडली के इस वीडियो को लेकर हर तरफ खूब चर्चा हुई थी। इसी बीच एक बार फिर ईरा ने सोशल मीडिया पर एक वीडियो शेयर किया है। इस वीडियो में ईरा ने अपनी लाइफ से जुड़े राज खोले हैं।
In terms of those of you who know me personally, you also know that I have a strong support system in the sense that my family has always been there for me, my parents have always been there for me. They don't put any pressure on us, they're very encouraging. I know that if anything were to happen, I could without any hesitation go to my parents. And they would always be there for me. So that, I think, is another privilege to, know that you have people to go to talk to if something were to happen. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is that I have a 10-minute speech, 3 things that I would say to myself that are sort of ingrained into my thinking to deal with anything and everything that came my way. The first is that there are dying, starving children, people out there in the world, and my problems really aren't so big. So I should be able to handle them. The second is that we are all tiny, inconspicuous, inconsequential living beings in the cosmos, and I should stop taking myself so seriously and move on. And the third thing is that no matter what is happening in my life right now, 5-10 years down the line, with time and perspective, it won't be such a big problem to me, it won't be such a big issue, so why am I fretting about it right now? And this is a very solid 3-point strategy to make yourself get over anything. To the point where I didn't even get to the point where I got upset about something. I didn't even get to the point where I was sad or anything. I would just let go before I got there. I thought I had attained nirvana, which I had not. But anyway, this is what I would do. And so between the time when my behavior started to change and the time that I asked for help was about 3.5 years. And in those 3.5 years, I would still use this strategy, and it did not help. So I stopped taking care of myself. I started sleeping a lot and thinking it was normal, or not realizing that I was sleeping so much.
वीडियो में ईरा खान कह रही हैं, काफी लोगों ने मुझे पूछा कि मैं डिप्रेस्ड क्यों हूँ, और इस बात का जवाब मैं भी नहीं दे पाऊंगी क्योंकि मुझे खुद ही नहीं पता। पिछले कई साल से मैं इसे समझने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ, लेकिन कोई सीधा और सही जवाब नहीं है।
I used to keep myself either really busy, and then I slowly moved into immobility where I just did not leave my bed. I was making commitments and I was not being able to get myself to leave the bed to actually follow through with those commitments, and then I would feel bad, so I would stop making those commitments, giving me more time to stay in bed. I started to isolate because I didn't want to be in a bad mood around my friends. I used to have a lot of control over my emotions, but suddenly I didn't have that control anymore, and I didn't want to unnecessarily put them in a bad mood because there was no reason for me to be in this bad mood, so there's no point telling them, there's no point talking to them. What will they say to me? I used to daydream all the time, and it went from that to me not being able to listen to music because I couldn't sit with myself listening to music. I had to be watching TV. That is the amount of distraction I needed so that I wouldn't start crying. And crying was a big thing because I'm not the kind of person whose response to things is to cry. After 12, I stopped crying, and then suddenly at 17, I would start crying, and it slowly that the number of times I would cry began to increase, and how long I cried for began to increase. And I did not know why I was crying. And it would just randomly happen in class. I'd start having tears, and then I would feel like I was going to break down and howl, but I didn't want to because I were in class and we were discussing something completely not sad.